Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the Produce Buzzers podcast. We are so happy you have joined us today, and I think you will be too after the show is over, because you will learn a lot about fresh fruits and vegetables, how to select and store them, how to prepare and cook them, and surprising facts about their history and origin. We hope it inspires you to eat more fresh fruits and vegetables, not only for your health, but also for your delight and pleasure as you explore their amazing world of taste and delicious flavors. Eating more of them will transform your life in so many positive ways. So settle back, relax, and get ready for another delicious adventure with the Produce Buzzers. Greetings and welcome to another delicious episode of the Produce Buzzers podcast. I'm Edwin Stepp, your host and executive editor of ProduceBuzz.com. I'm joined once again by Teresa Nolan, the founder and president of Produce Buzz, and Rick Stepp, a contributing editor to Produce Buzz. We are missing our lovely, very good friend, Cynthia Benedetto today. She's off for holidays, but she'll be back again soon, we hope. Well, Produce Buzzers podcast fans, what do you think of when you think about the color purple? Well, throughout history and literature, it has signified many things, some not so happy and bright, such as death and loss, mystery and danger, and mourning and solemnity. But other symbols were more noble and inspirational, like royalty, dignity, beauty, and resilience in the face of hardship. And of course, the color purple has been used humorously, most notably in the hit song from the 1950s, The Purple People Eater, which tells how a strange creature from outer space, described as a one-eyed, one-horned, flying purple people eater, descends to Earth because it wants to not eat people, but to be in a rock and roll band.
Is that Deep Purple?
There's another example of the use of purple, the Deep Purple. That song. Purple Haze was another one. There you go. I like that.
Purple Rain.
Well, the man who meets the Purple People Eater asks him, he says, "I said, Mr. Purple People Eater, what's your line?" He said, "Eating purple people," and it sure is fine. But that's not the reason that I came to land. I want to get a job in a rock and roll band. But today we are not going to talk about purple people eaters. We are going to talk about people eating purple. Today, we're diving into the colorful world of purple vegetables, from nutrient-packed purple cabbage to purple beets to the majestic purple eggplant. We'll uncover the secrets behind their striking hues, their incredible health benefits, and how they've become stars in cuisines around the globe. We'll share tips on cooking with them, stories behind their origins, and even spotlight some surprising facts about why purple veggies are more than just a feast for the eyes. That's right, we're diving into the science, flavor, and fun behind one of the most striking colors in the produce aisle. You've probably already thought about some veggies that, when you think of them, you already see them as purple in color. But there are some other veggies that we usually think of as being green, but have purple varieties that we will tell you about a few of those. Nutritionists agree that purple varieties of vegetables have additional health benefits over their green cousins. So, what makes a vegetable purple? It all comes down to a natural pigment called anthocyanin. This powerful compound isn't just responsible for that bold royal color. It's also an antioxidant superhero, known for fighting inflammation, reducing the risk of heart disease, and even boosting brain health. It can protect and heal damaged cells and help prevent many lifestyle diseases such as cancer, diabetes, and cardiovascular and neurological diseases. And here's the cool part. The intensity of a vegetable's purple shade often indicates how much anthocyanin it contains. The darker the purple, the more nutrients you're getting. Science and beauty in one bite. How cool is that? So the rage is on for all types of purple veggies, and not just for health reasons. They tend to be much more flavorful as well. They also can really liven up the color of the dinner plate, making the meal much more appetizing. So we're going to talk about some of those today, but to start off, we're going to go around the horns. Each of our produce buzzers and let them tell you about their favorite purple veggie to eat. Teresa, do you want to start today?
I will. I'm going to talk about beets. They are so good for your heart, by the way, because they're rich in folate. That's a nutrient that is very important to heart health. They also have a good amount of manganese, which is involved in the formation of bone and helps with brain functions. Plus, they're high in copper, which is important for energy production and the synthesis of certain neurotransmitters. And my favorite way to prepare beets is to get a bunch, and it's probably a good idea to try to get them the same relative size. But if you don't, you can cut them into 1.5-inch pieces. But first, you want to scrub them really well because they always seem to be dirty when you buy them.
Yeah.
I think we discussed once the fact that potatoes come out pretty clean when you buy them at the grocery store, but the beets always have that dirt left on them.
Yeah, I don't know why they can't clean those up as well.
Yeah. So I just get a
Yeah.
good scrub brush and scrub them really well. And after I use the scrub brush that way, I usually put it in the dishwasher because it will turn purple as you're scrubbing on the beets themselves. Some people like to use a peeler and peel the skin off, but I just cut the ends off, cut them into about 1.5-inch pieces, put them in a preheated 400-degree oven and bake them for about 40 minutes, checking on them and kind of turning them a couple of times during the process. I use a little bit of avocado oil and I put it in a spritzer and just spritz them prior to putting them in the oven. It usually takes at least 40 minutes. I've tried cutting into smaller pieces and trying to get them done faster. With that size piece, you're going to end up spending about 40 minutes cooking them.
Right.
They taste so sweet when you take them out of the oven. They're really, really sweet.
That roasting intensifies the sugars, doesn't it?
Oh, yes. And I think people who even think they don't like beets like them when they're roasted this way.
Interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
So.
How soft do you get them when you roast them? Do you like them al dente or do you like them mushy? Nobody likes them mushy, but
I like them with a little bit of give to them, but not soft.
yeah.
Just, it seems like when you cook them soft, you lose some of that sweetness and some of the flavor.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, that makes sense.
yep.
Teresa, do you have a pressure cooker?
I do have a pressure cooker.
Is it one of those modern ones that it's like an Instapot, or is it just an old-fashioned?
It is one like you gave me, which you gave the pressure cooker I have is one you gave me.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
come on. You were looking for some more. Thanks for my pressure cooker. Thanks for my Instapot. Come on. You were fishing for that.
Next time you make them, try steaming them. You can set them on high for about 20 minutes. You have to put a little water in the bottom to steam them, create the steam. You don't have to put any oil in there. And you put them in there on high for about 20 minutes. Then I always leave the lid on and let it cool down naturally so that it steams a little extra. And they turn out really tender.
How long do you cook it?
About 20 minutes on high.
20 minutes on high. Okay.
Yeah.
I wonder if they'll be as sweet because that roasting really
they're
makes
very
it.
sweet.
Yeah. Of course, beets are
You
sweet.
don't really lose anything. The pressure, it's under pressure, so it's not cooking everything out of it. It's just.
Yeah, but the thing about the roasting, as I understand it, is it's actually kind of crystallizing the sugars somehow. Am I wrong about that?
No, probably not. Probably baking them is better. But
it's longer.
If you don't have a lot of time, they're very good cooking a pressure cooker.
Yeah.
Probably contest. But.
That baking process, it also gives the outside of the beet a certain texture.
Right.
And I would think that the pressure cooker would make them more more juicy rather than having the,
Yeah, I guess I'd have to compare them.
yeah,
Have a taste test to see.
yeah.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Maybe Henry and Jack could help you with that.
Yeah.
Hey, boys,
Just-
look, here's some candy. Want to try
Well,
it?
does Ken
for
like?
our remind our listeners that these are two of Rick's grandchildren who are very, very averse to trying new things. They are super tasters, I think he calls them. They're very sensitive to taste, but
Almost every vegetable is repulsive to them, the same as you're eating Brussels sprouts.
And Rick has tried to trick them so many times that they no longer will eat anything he gives them.
right.
Beets have a lot of nitrates also, which if you have a tendency towards kidney stones, you have to be careful. You can't eat too many of them.
Hmm.
But they do tend to enhance athletic performance because it improves your oxygen use. And they recommend that if you're going to be eating beets for that purpose, you consume them 2 to 3 hours prior to training or competing. So,
Hmm.
Wow.
Takes a while for it to get into the system to do what it's supposed to do, I guess.
yeah. Another nice thing about beets is if you get them with the greens still attached, which is
Oh,
the way we
right.
see them,
Yeah.
is sold in the stores, you can use those in a salad.
Mm.
So you want the greens to be unwilted when you buy them,
Right.
and they should feel kind of heavy for their size. That's just another side benefit of beets, and there's so many ways you can use them. You can put them in a salad. You can make dips, soups, and you can even juice them. Or
Yeah.
if you're like Rick, just take your juice from the Instapot and add it to the juice mixture.
Well, now
I-
were you talking about the greens on the beets that you can do all these
no.
things with, like the juice? You can put those in a juicer, actually.
Sure, you
Yeah.
could do that.
Right.
Be like kale.
You can
Mhm.
steam them on the stovetop or with a microwave steamer, and
Yes.
they're very tender, but you can overcook them.
I've sauteed beet tops before. They weren't the best thing. They tend to be bitter, but
Yeah.
they're edible.
Well, you can kind of cook them like spinach,
Yeah.
and some bitter greens, you can minimize that bitter taste by blanching them for like a minute in boiling
Ah,
water prior
okay.
to sauteing them or whatever you
Yeah.
plan to do with them.
I
So
don't think I ever tried it that way, so that's a good tip.
yeah.
If you're going to eat them raw, make sure you wash them really well,
Yeah,
because there can be some sand in there.
that's
Kind
true.
of, yeah.
It seems when you buy them in the grocery store, fresh beets, they always come with the tops. I don't remember seeing beets in a display without the tops. Do you?
No, I don't.
Well, you can buy packages of beets. Sometimes they're in a cellophane type package, and the tops are gone.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
got it.
Mm-hmm.
What else about beets do you have for us, Teresa?
Well, they're good for your digestion too. And
Okay.
of course, I already mentioned they can support brain health by improving blood flow to the frontal lobe of the brain.
Wow.
So, and they may have some anti-cancer properties like all of those purple vegetables that we love so much.
Yeah, right. What else? Anything else about beets? Or you?
I think that's about it.
Okay. Very good. Thank you, Teresa. That was interesting. And we're getting hungry with your good
Uh-huh.
recipes. So now we're going to turn to Rick. What's your favorite purple veggie, Rick?
Well, it's really not my favorite purple veggie, but it's one of my favorites. I would agree with Teresa. I think probably beets are my favorite of the purples, but I also love red cabbage. Well, we say red cabbage usually, but it's also known as purple cabbage.
Yeah.
And the red cabbage is a purple leaf variety of brassica, also known as blaukraut after preparation. That comes from
Blauerkraut.
Blaukraut, like
Blaukraut.
blue kraut.
Okay, German for blue. Blau. Yeah.
Yeah. So its leaves are colored dark red or purple. However, the plant changes its color according to the pH value of the soil. That's something I never knew
Yeah.
before, is that the pH determines how dark purple it is or how light red it is. And
So is it more acidic or more base?
in acidic soils, the leaves grow to be more reddish.
Okay.
In neutral soils, they will grow more purple, while an alkaline soil will produce rather greenish yellow colored cabbages.
Hmm.
So it can go from almost green to deep purple color.
Yeah.
This explains the fact that the same plant is known by different colors in various regions. It can be found in all of Europe, throughout the Americas, in China, and especially in Africa. When cooking, red cabbage will normally turn blue. Adding vinegar or acidic fruit to the pot is necessary to retain the cabbage's red color. So if you really want the red color, you have vinegar to it.
I have noticed that it'll go to a more blue color at times.
Yeah. Red cabbage needs to be well fertilized and to grow it, and sufficient humidity. It is a seasonal plant that is seeded in spring and harvested in late autumn. Red cabbage is a better keeper than white cabbage or green cabbage. It does not need to be converted to sauerkraut to last through the winter. So sauerkraut evolved for people trying to keep the cabbage through the wintertime.
Yeah.
Would you keep it in the refrigerator all winter then?
Yeah, you could. We should test it. Everybody buy a head of red cabbage and
I like making coleslaw with green cabbage, red cabbage, and carrots. So when I do that, I'll buy a head of green and a head of red. I've never noticed any difference in their shelf life, but that would be an interesting test. They seem to last about the same.
Well, once you cut something up and try to keep it, it's not going to last as long. But a head of red cabbage is usually really tight.
Yeah, it's tighter than a green. Yeah.
And you probably end up having to keep peeling some of the outer leaves off.
Yeah, they dry out, if nothing else.
Yeah.
Well, what I don't usually make coleslaw with two full heads because it's just too much to make at one time. I don't think you'd have a bowl big enough for it. But I would cut it in half or cut it in quarters and make my coleslaw with 1/4 or 1/2, and then put the rest in the fridge. And sometimes it would last, both of them would last a long time. But my point is, that it would be, I didn't notice any difference in their shelf and how those things lasted. But anyway, I'm sure it's true that the red cabbage lasts longer. So.
But you can use red cabbage and cook it just like any other, like a green cabbage. But cooked red cabbage is 91% water, 7% carbohydrates, 1% protein, and contains negligible fat. It has a high content of vitamin C and vitamin K, containing 44% and 72% respectively of the daily value per 100 gram amount. So in other words, it has vitamin C and vitamin K. That's all you need to remember. It's a moderate source of vitamin B6, 17% of the daily value. And red cabbage, as we discussed, or all of these red vegetables we're discussing, are high in phytochemicals. Red cabbage is often used raw for salads and coleslaw. It is the traditional accompanying side dish paired with many German meals, notably meat dishes like sauerbraten or Doner. At Christmas, it can be spiced, braised, and served as an accompaniment to seasonal roast goose or turkey.
All right. Thanksgiving's here this week, so maybe you can try red cabbage.
In fact, I found a recipe for that we're going to make for our Thanksgiving.
Oh, so you're going to make it this year for Thanksgiving. Cool.
Yeah, it's called German red cabbage. In German, it's called Rotkohl. Rotkohl. Rot means red, and kohl is cabbage in German. So,
Right.
this is a very traditional dish that it's a popular German side dish that's very easy to make from scratch. It tastes so aromatic with a distinctive sweet and sour flavor. It makes a perfect side for a roast dinner together with potato dumplings, etc. The ingredients are 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter, 2 medium apples, 1 medium onion, 2 pounds of red cabbage, 3 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, 1 cup of apple cider, which you use 1 for braising, and the cup of apple cider actually goes into the recipe when you cook it. And something that's optional, which you probably would not be able to. Well, you actually could find this in a really nice grocery store. A tablespoon of lingonberry jam. But if you don't have lingonberry jam, you could just use a little bit of your fresh made cranberry sauce.
Yeah, they're pretty close to the same flavor.
Yeah. And then it has things like cloves, bay leaf. Recommended to use 2 juniper berries if you can find them. I don't recall finding juniper berries in the stores, but maybe Teresa could tell us if she's ever.
I've never seen any, and I wonder if you'd be safe taking them off a juniper bush or if it would kill you.
I'd be
Well,
careful there.
You can buy the dried juniper berries that are like a spice type thing.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't think you could ever find fresh ones. I mean, you might, but
That might be one of those spices that stayed in your cupboard for like 400 years. You know, you're only using one.
yeah.
If you have a gin distillery nearby, they would have.
Yeah. And we do have one here in Duluth, Minnesota, where I live.
They could probably spot you a few fresh juniper berries.
Yeah. I doubt they use fresh ones. I bet they're.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Flavor's probably more concentrated if they use the dried one.
Right.
It's just for flavor. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I would suggest if you're interested to Google German red cabbage and give it a try. This will be the first time I've had it. As far as I know, I might have had it in a restaurant.
I've had it in my trips to Germany before, and it is delicious. I tell you, it really goes well, like you said, with the meat.
Yeah,
a nice tender roast of some kind. My mouth is watering thinking about it.
I've had it in a German restaurant, and it's always so sweet.
Yeah, it is very sweet.
And I wonder if the apple cider is sweet enough that it would.
Well, this recipe only calls for a half a teaspoon of, 1 tablespoon of white sugar.
Okay.
Goes into the whole recipe, so it's not a lot of sugar.
But you have the apples and the apple cider.
Right.
Is there apple cider or just apple cider vinegar?
Both.
Okay.
1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar and a cup of apple cider.
Okay. And then how many apples?
2 apples.
So that's a lot to sweeten there. That might be enough.
And you cook it down with the apples and the onions and everything.
Right.
And so it probably concentrates the sweetness.
Yeah. Well, that's good to know, because every time I've had it, I thought they must have a pound of sugar in this.
Well, they might, because if you really want customers to come back.
That's true. Salt, sugar, and oil. That's the things that bring us back. And how much is 2 pounds? Would a head of cabbage weigh 2 pounds?
It can. Just depends on the size.
Yeah.
I guess if you're at the grocery store and you're trying to get exactly 2 pounds, just put it on the produce scale and see. I mean, some heads of cabbage can weigh 5 pounds.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much everything I have.
Okay. Very good. Well, thank you, Rick. I'm hungry for red cabbage, coleslaw, sauerkraut. And I'm going to go buy a head pretty soon. Well, as Rick mentioned, cabbage is a brassica, cruciferous veggie. And there are a lot of brassicas have purple versions, um, like cauliflower, kale, Brussels sprouts, kohlrabi, even artichokes. They all have a purple variety, so you should look for those sometimes. They're very beautiful. They really can change the presentation on your plate and bring you more nutrition as well as a prettier plate. But it's not only brassicas that have purple versions. That some of these might surprise you. We've already talked about onions and eggplant, of course. Potatoes. I'm sure most of you have seen purple potatoes. Those are really good and again, beautiful. And sweet potatoes. We talked about sweet potatoes last time. The purple sweet potatoes are supposed to be really, really superfoods, powerhouse superfoods. So look for those. Carrots. In fact, carrots were purple before they were ever orange. A lot of people don't realize that. The white and purple versions of carrots were around a long time. Purple, white, and yellow. It wasn't until the, 1400s, I think, that the Dutch created the orange carrot. Asparagus has a purple version. There's a purple version of string beans, radishes, chard, endive, or endive, you might say. And even corn and garlic have purple versions. So look for those. Add a little.
Where do you find purple fresh sweet corn?
Well, that's not easy to find. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen it in a grocery store.
But you can buy blue corn chips.
That's true.
So if you're hankering for some blue corn,
yeah. And that's probably,
it.
I don't know if that's made, do they color it or is it made from blue purple corn?
It's made from the purple corn. Yeah.
Interesting.
A lot of the ancient varieties that we always called Indian corn,
right,
are colored like that, but I'm not sure if you can actually eat those.
Some of them are not very good, I've read.
Probably.
But at the farmer's market in Pasadena, there was a grower that came there with edible purple corn and other colors as well. So it's there, but it's not, again, it's one of those things that you have to really search for high and low. Mm-hmm. But the thing I wanted to talk about today, to add to our purple people eating purple show, is some of the nightshades, just a few of the nightshades. You know what nightshades are? Typical type of plant that includes tomatoes, peppers, and eggplant. And of course, we've talked a little bit about eggplant, so I won't go on about eggplant today so much. Most eggplant we think of as purple, and there's a lot of different varieties, but most of them are purple. Well, they're not all purple, some are different colors, but primarily when you think of eggplant, it's purple. But you don't always think of tomatoes and peppers as being purple, and that intrigued me when I was preparing for the show. I'm sure a lot of people have seen the purple tomatoes. Those are fairly common in the grocery store. So, and they are usually so much sweeter in my mind. You know, it could be that I'm, just imagining that. I haven't actually checked the Brix level on these purple tomatoes. What do you think? Are purple tomatoes sweeter generally in your mind?
I've never thought that. Honestly, even a lot of the heirloom tomatoes and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
To me, they're not as good as the tomatoes, the regular tomatoes that I buy. I like the Campari tomatoes.
Right.
They taste better than it. The only way they could be better to me is if they have a really high acid taste. I love a high acid tomato.
Okay, got it.
So if it's an heirloom and it's not a high acid heirloom tomato or purple.
Right. Well, I've probably bought into the propaganda of purple being sweeter because I know when we've gone to these produce conventions and I meet the people who are growing them, they typically sell the line that they're sweeter. It's probably just my imagination.
They may be. Maybe the varieties we've encountered have not been as good. Maybe we're just getting some other variety.
That's true. Rick mentioned the heirloom. One of the most popular heirloom tomatoes is the Cherokee purple. It's a beloved heirloom tomato, reddish purple hue. They usually grow really big and they get kind of odd shaped. They are beautiful. And I tell you, my experience with them is, oh man, they're so good, but they don't last long. They're not easy to ship because there seem to be more fragile. Um, I've seen a lot of cherry type tomatoes that are purple, and those tend, again, I may be imagining it, but to me, they tend to be sweeter. And of course, if you're mixing, if you can, one of the grocery stores here in Hendersonville has a cherry tomato bar. And you can go in and get a little, 1 pound container, and they've got them all mixed together. They're red and yellow and orange and purple, green even. And those combinations really, really go well together. So that, I think, again, with the tomatoes, you can really get a rainbow of colors just with tomatoes. And that's the thing that intrigued me a lot about tomatoes, and purple tomatoes specifically, and peppers too. Now, this might be something that some of you will be surprised about, that you don't see purple peppers very often, but there is a purple bell pepper, and I've come across them occasionally. Have you guys seen them much where you are? Have you seen a purple bell pepper?
No, I haven't.
Yeah. I've seen them. I haven't seen them here. Back in California, of course, where you get a little bit more variety. I saw them often, and they're almost black. They're so purple. So that's really good. And then there are quite a few varieties of hot peppers that are purple. They're ranked on the Scoville scale. Some of them get way up there. There's a Murasaki purple pepper, a Scylla pepper, a purple jalapeno. There's one called a purple tiger, and a Peruvian purple. There's probably 20 to 25 different hot pepper varieties that are purple that I've come across them. The hottest one that I saw in doing the research was one called the purple boot jolakia ghost pepper. And it was crossed with the ghost pepper. And on the Scoville scale, it can get up to 1.5 million units on the Scoville scale, which is way up there. A habanero pepper is typically about 350,000 Scoville units. So this is 6 times almost, or at least 5 times hotter than a habanero.
Sounds like it might kill you.
That's why they call it the ghost pepper, because you will be a ghost after you eat it. But there is a purple habanero pepper as well, and also a purple cayenne pepper. The purple cayenne pepper goes up to 50,000 Scoville units, and the habaneros up to 350,000.
Have you ever tasted a fresh ghost pepper?
I have not. Have you?
No, I was afraid because Jake lives in North Dakota, and he grew some in pots.
Oh, really?
A couple of years ago. And I was handling them, and I just, touched my hand to my lip, and it was burning.
Oh, yeah.
But he gave me some, so I brought them home, and I put them in vinegar and made a hot vinegar sauce out of them. And that vinegar lasted me for 3 years. I just kept adding regular vinegar to the peppers as I would use it. And it lasted me for like 3 years.
Wow.
And when you open the jar, when I would open the jar up, the smell, the fumes would just knock you down.
Oh,
Just the fumes from the thing.
wow.
I never had the nerve to actually bite into one.
I can't remember if it was for Father's Day or my birthday, but sometime in the last year or so, the girls sent me a Father's Day or birthday present that had a bunch of hot sauces in it. And the hot sauces had this warning label on it. This hot sauce is called Mad Dog 357.
Oh, wow.
It's got a skull on the front. and it says Reaper. So I imagine these are, I don't know if this is made from, they sent me several different versions. Let's see what this says. Yeah, Reaper peppers and white distilled vinegar. That's it. That's all that's in this. So there's this warning label that they have attached to the bottle. Before you open this bottle, you agree as indicated by opening this bottle as follows in connection with the purchase of this product. Number one, due to the extreme hot nature of this product shall be used as a food additive. This product can cause serious injury if directly consumed, ingested, or applied to the body.
Whoa.
Number two, due to the extreme hot nature of this product shall be used with extreme care and very small amounts only. Number three, this product is to be used at my own risk, and I fully understand the potential danger if used or handled improperly. Number four, if I give this product as a gift, I will make the recipient fully aware of the potential danger if used or handled improperly.
Well, that would be, if it had a lot of the Reapers in there, that's actually not a joke.
That probably isn't. You're right.
If a child drank that.
Yeah. Well, it's just pure, it's a pretty thick paste, actually. So there's not a lot of vinegar. It's mostly ground up peppers. It's a paste.
Well, that's basically what Tabasco is. It's vinegar and peppers.
Yeah, that's a little more, but it's a lot more.
Oh yeah,
it's liquid. It's more like a liquid. This is like a paste.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I've taken the jalapenos and vinegar. I just use the raw apple cider vinegar and jalapeno and tomato sauce.
Yeah.
Just ground up in a blender, and it's almost like eating a Frank's hot sauce or something. Very easy to just make your own.
Right. Yeah, I've never tried that. I should try that sometime.
Yeah, you can just use one jalapeno, can of tomato sauce, and some vinegar, and grind it up really good.
Yeah.
Depending on how hot the jalapeno is, you might need to use more than that.
Right. Okay. Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, the U.S. Department of Agriculture sponsored a contest to name a new variety of hot pepper that they had developed. It had the same Scoville level of spice as a cayenne, which we said was about 50,000 Scoville units. Can you guess what the winning name was?
Is this a purple pepper or just
a purple hot pepper?
Yeah, okay.
Purple pepper eater.
Hey, you're close. You're close. The winning name was the purple people heater.
Good.
So we did that. You see what I did there? I brought it around in a circle, back to the beginning.
Yeah.
So, Teresa.
Yes.
Are you ready to torture our listeners?
Ready.
Okay, it's time for home grown. Don't run away. You got to stick around. You have to pay your dues. We gave you a lot of good information today, so it's time to be punished. What is our homegrown of the day, Teresa?
What did the orange sweet potato say after the purple sweet potato accused him of being no good?
Okay, so what did the orange sweet potato say after the purple sweet potato accused him of being no good? Is that correct?
Well,
or did I get that wrong?
Maybe I should have said not good. Not good.
Okay, not good.
Not good.
Okay,
yeah.
Got it. All right. So give us a few seconds here to think if we can get it. Rick, what have you got?
You're a racist?
That's funny.
I was going to say some orange you glad on something, but that's orange you glad. I don't know. Purple.
I didn't say banana.
Orange, you glad you're not orange? You glad you're not orange? I don't know. Yeah, okay. All right. Well,
That's
I
good.
give up. I give up.
Okay. All right. So when the purple sweet potato accused the orange sweet potato of not being good, the orange sweet potato replied, "Yes, I am."
Oh. Oh, man. Not only was that really bad, it was technically not true because the sweet potato is not a yam. But we'll forgive you.
What color are yams?
Most of them are white.
Hmm.
There probably are some orange yams, but if you look up the difference, usually they're white. Different. I think they're a completely different variety of, or maybe I won't say species again. I don't know what those terms mean, but
Yeah, yams are not sweet potatoes, and sweet potatoes are not yams.
Right.
But people call them yams, so I guess that's one of those things where they kind of have to change the dictionary.
Well, that's the other thing the sweet potato said. I am what I am. I am what I am, but I'm not a sweet potato.
That's funny.
So we hope you've enjoyed our deep purple dive into purple veggies today, and it hasn't left you in a purple haze. Add purple to your diet. You'll benefit from it in many ways. Nutritionists agree that we need a rainbow of colors in our diet. So make sure your plate is filled with colorful veggies, and you are going to substantially improve your health. And you can get the entire spectrum of rainbow with tomatoes and peppers. The Roy G. Biv, Roy G. Biv, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. You can get those in the peppers and the tomatoes. But main thing is to eat a variety of colors, like the deep purple we're celebrating today. It's one of the simplest ways to make sure you're getting the widest range of vitamins and minerals. So if you want more nutrition, flavor, and color on your plate, time to become a people eating purple. Well, thank you, listeners, for tuning in to the Produce Buzzers podcast, brought to you by Produce Buzz, the gathering place for lovers of fresh fruits and veggies. We hope you were entertained a bit and educated a lot about fresh produce. Be sure to join us next time, and please tell your friends to do so as well. Like, share, and comment on our Produce Buzz Facebook page. And check out our website at www.producebuzz.com. There you will find articles about fresh fruits and veggies, how to select, store, and prepare them, as well as lots of interesting facts about all the wonderful bounty the earth provides for us. Until next time, be fruitful, and don't forget to veg out.